Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we're going to look at the Spring Boot and OpenAI. Actually, we're looking at OpenAI Transcription API. That means that we can take a piece of audio or we can take a video and then we can transcribe it and get the text and actually get whatever people are saying on the video or on the audio, and then we can get that as plain text. And it also has an awesome built-in translation that can also be used. Actually, it's not built-in, there's another API, but we'll look at that in another video, the translation API, because it is quite cool. So let's get started. If you have followed my other OpenAI videos, then you would know that that we have the OpenAI documentation at platform.openai.com. /doc/guide/text-to-speech/quick start if it is text-to-speech, of course. Speech-to-text, actually. Yeah, speech-to-text. And we usually get these curl commands that we can use, so it's quite cool. We get some good examples, but for Java, there are no such examples. Of course, we can convert this into something that we can use in Spring Boot, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So the documentation says that we need to post to this URL right here, this endpoint right here. We need to add in the header the OpenAI key that we created in one of the other videos. It's quite easy to set up. Just watch OpenAI up and running if you haven't seen that yet. Then you will get an OpenAI key that you can use. It's of course there is a cost by using the API, but it's quite cheap in my opinion. Actually, at least for the examples that I'm doing right here, I added $10 and I still have way more than $9.50 left, even though I've done quite some demos with this. So it doesn't seem expensive. Of course, if you have a production environment where you have a high volume, of course, then you would have another opinion on that. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to add in the header that this is multipart form data, and this is because we are going to upload a file. This is usually what you will have when you're uploading a file. Then you would set the content type to multipart form data. It just means that the body part of your HTTP message is like a key value set, and then you can also use it for adding a file in base64 format and byte encoded. But we don't have to think about this because Spring Boot and the REST template will actually do this part for us if we do it correctly. Then we have another parameter we have to set, that is the model. We want to set the model to Whisper1. And if we don't want JSON, then we have to set the response format to text. But we like JSON, so we'll just leave it with JSON. Maybe just for fun, at the end of the video, I will set this one right here. Let us go to the code. That is, of course, the interesting part. Here we have the service, and I pasted in the curl command just on top of my service right here. I've made a transcription service, and the Spring Boot project has been made by pressing File, New, Projects, and then I chose Spring Boot, Spring Initializer. I choose Gradle this time actually. Then I added, and I chose, I think it was Java 21, but I'm actually not sure about this. But it doesn't matter. Java 21 or Java 17. Of course, you can also use 22 if you want to. So we have the web right here, Spring Web. I added that. That is just if I want to create a Spring REST controller, then I can easily do that. I add Lombok like this. And I also added some Spring data and some Spring JPA, but we do not need that. But feel free to add it if you want to. And of course, this project is on GitHub, my GitHub account as usual, free to download. So just take the code if you find it interesting, or if you're stuck in your own code. I create this method right here, and that is because we need to create something called a file system resource. A file system resource. So where does that one come from? That comes from the Spring framework core IO. And when we're using this file system resource, then we don't have to think about how to present this data when we're uploading it. It will be handled automatically by the REST template and by the Spring framework. It takes a file as an argument. So first we create a file, then we return a new file system resource. And so it could not be easier actually. And this is the path to the file. So it's quite easy to create a file system resource like this. Then we need to have the URL, that is the endpoint, and you can see that matches the endpoint from the curl command that we were getting from the documentation, and then we need to create. Okay, so now comes the special part. We need to create this this multi-value map right here, the linked multi-value map, and this is where we place all of our data. We place the model, we place our file right here. We need to upload a file, and here we are giving a file system resource as the value right here. Then we need to create a header, and as usual, we have to add the API token in the header. So that is actually this part right here, the OpenAI API key. We need to add that. It's not a token, it's a key. Sorry, it's an API key. And we have to add that to the header. And I've created a method to create that. That is made with the header service, header multipart form data right here. So I just dumped it in a method instead of having it in the code all the time. Then I could reuse it. So here we have it is taking the API key from the environment. I've added it as an environment variable because I don't want it to be hidden in the code. It's always good if you have something that is secret. Add it as an environment. Do not add it in the code at least. You can use an environment variable. You can also use some kind of vault on the clouds. There are a lot of vault systems for that. Then we have the HTTP headers right here. Yeah, we create a new one. Then we set the authorization right here, and we set the bearer plus the OpenAI API key. And then we set the content type to multipart form data. So that is the important part right here. Let's jump back. So that is the headers. So now we have headers that matches the curl command right here. What else do we need? Then we don't need anything else. We just say we create a request entity of the type HTTP entity, and we give the body right here, and we give the header right here. So there's a lot of ways to initially or to construct one of these HTTP entities. You can also just add a body if you don't have any headers at all. So, but we have those. Yeah, we actually have 3 ways of creating this HTTP entity right here. Okay. There's also something called a request entity. So if you are not satisfied with HTTP entity, then you can use the request entity instead. Then I'm printing out send file to transcribe. That's just so I can follow if something went wrong. Then I know that it was on the next line that something went wrong. And then I say, and of course, instead of systeming it out, we should actually log it. So we will use the log.info. And I'm using Lombok, so I can annotate with @SL4DA. So that means that I just get this log.info that I can call. Then we have the response right here, and we call it right here. So we say post for entity, the URL, the request entity, and then the response type. We want some string. We want a string back. That is a type that we expect. Yeah. Of course, you could also create a REST. You could create a class that matches format that we get that is being returned. But we're enough about that. I'll show you which class you should create. Then it's quite simple class. It just needs one. Just need one variable, and that is the text txt. But okay, so here we return the body, and we have and that is the string. And let us go test this part right here. So I have 2 files. First of all, if you watch my earlier video, then you would see that we actually created this text, this MP3 file right here from text. So we actually had some text where it said that Mike is great or something like that. And then we created this cool MP3 file. But let us just listen to it and hear what it is. Mike Alloy right here. Let us just listen to it.
Mike is great. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching.
And I'll just.
Mike is great. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching.
I totally agree. I must agree on this one, and I never get tired of listening to this. I actually have a cron yacht that plays this every 10th minute. But enough about that. Let us see what the result is right here. So I've made some assertions. It's just because it's not a test without assertions, right? We assert that the response is not blank, it's not nothing, and we assert that the length is greater than 10. But we could also assert that the text is equal to something. There'll be a more exact test, of course, if we do that. So now we're running it, and then what does it say? It's a text. And let us just drag this out a bit. Mike is great. Remember to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you for watching. Oh, I'm almost blushing. Thank you so much for saying that I'm great. It's yes. Thank you very much, OpenAI API. I know you're very smart, and you have it's a huge model. So thank you very much for coming to this conclusion. Mike is great. Yeah, I'm blushing a bit, but I'll take it. Say more. Okay. So this is the JSON that is returned right here. We have one property, and we have one key that is the text, and then we have one value. That was this beautiful text right here. This beautiful value. Okay, so that is quite cool, Mike. But what if you try another language? Do we only support English or what? And the answer to that is, of course, no. We support a lot of languages actually. So here we have some supported languages right here. We have all of these languages right here, and Danish is luckily one of these ones right here. That is actually for the translation in point. But it's both transcription and translation. Yes. So that is quite cool. That is really awesome. Let us try something in Danish then. Mike, did you prepare something in Danish? The answer to that is totally yes. I did prepare something in Danish. I have something right here where I'm talking about cake, and I'm also singing a bit just to try to confuse the OpenAI transcription service. Let us try to play. And this is MP4, by the way, so it's actually video. So. Jeg er så glad i dag. Ja. Jeg er meget glad. Hej med dig. Jeg er glad, og jeg synger. Jeg er en glad mand. Jeg skal snart ned til bageren og købe en kage. So that was video. It was it's quite good. I like my performance as an actor right there. It says that I'm going to the bakery soon and buy a cake, and it also said that I'm very, very happy. So let's see what happens when we try to translate this video. So now it's not just a sound. We are actually trying to transcribe a video instead. Is that possible? And Mike, how can we just put a really nice video up and upload that? No, the maximum right now is 25 megabytes. So you have to either, of course, I would recommend that you do not post videos. You should post audio instead, because then the file size is much smaller. And then if you have the need of actually posting something that is more than 25 megabyte, then just post it in small pieces, right? You just break up your audio file. But now we are uploading a video file for fun, just to see that OpenAI API can actually handle it. And let's see what happens now. So here we have the response right here. Text. Jeg er så glad i dag. Ja. Jeg er meget glad. Hej. Hej med dig. Jeg er glad. Og jeg synger. Jeg er en glad mand. So this was the only mistake it actually made right here. It should have said man not in plural. But it says men right here. But I was also mumbling a bit, so that could also be. It can be excused actually. What you can do is actually you can insert prompts. So that means that you will be, if something is, when you know something is wrong, then it can be, then you can actually change it to the correct value. But the prompting is not, it's not like something that they are advertising that much yet. It says right here, the model you try to match the style of the prompt. The current prompting system is much more limited than the other language models. Okay. So if you want to, then you can add prompts like this. Yeah, I have not tried that part. I must admit that. But I would probably. If I had right there, of course, you would have to read through this text, because it's, whenever you're auto-generating something from an AI, it doesn't matter what it is, then you always have to proofread it and check that it is what you wanted it to create. Okay, so that was actually it is this easy right here. Just for fun, let us go back to the transcription service. And then we will go and say that we want it in the text format instead. So we will say, what was it that we had to add? We have to add something. Response format text. So say response format, and then we will say text. Let us see if this works. And then we go to. Let us just upload the English MP3 file, just because it's smaller, then it costs less. Yes. And let's look right here. So now it's not JSON that is returned; it's just pure text, clean text. So it works fine. It works just as expected. It's an awesome model. The model is named Whisper1. Whisper1, and of course there are a lot of models out there that does almost the same. Not a lot, but there are some models out there that does the same, and yeah, it's a tough competition for all of these models right now, also for the LLMs, the large language models. That's actually it. I don't have anything else. I will, I'll push the code, and then you can just get it on GitHub. Thank you very much for all of your comments, and hope to see you again soon. Have a great evening. Bye bye.